Hello, dear friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will check the final ninth round of Armenian men's and women's championships. Let's go. Yes, we are having the final round in men's and women's championships. Zaven Andreasyan had white pieces against Artur Davtyan. Zaven had 4 points out of 8, and Artur had 5 points out of 8. Yes, knight f6, and we see that Artur changes his weapon opening against Mamikon Gharibian and against Manuel Petrosyan. He went to Petrov. Here we see knight c6, bishop c4, and not bishop c5, knight f6, d3, bishop e7, knight c3, d6. Always knight a5 ideas are there. That's why a4, short castle, short castle. I had this position recently against a legendary Vasily Ivanchuk, and if I'm not mistaken, he played h6. I went a5, a6. I played rook e1, rook e8, h3, bishop f8. Yes, I could play bishop d2. I played bishop e3. Yes, with the ideas if bishop e6 takes, rook takes e6, knight d5. And then maybe, yes, of course, here we don't consider f takes c. White is always having knight d2, knight g3 ideas. So this, knight d5 doesn't work because of e takes d. And later on c4, yes, something like knight b8, for example. Typical idea, knight is coming to d7. And I played bishop e3. Yes, if bishop d2, I remember after the game, Vasily Ivanchuk said that he was planning to play this knight b8 again. Yes, I played bishop e3 and Ivanchuk played knight b4 with the ideas to go c5. I played d4, e takes d, bishop takes d4, bishop e6. I took it. I played queen d2, and now c5. Bishop takes f6, queen takes f6. I played b3, rook e8, and here rook a4 would have been the best with the ideas knight d5, knight d5, queen d5. I played knight d5, knight takes d5. If he takes d, rook e1, white is having uh, some problems. Queen d5, rook takes d4, and black is better. So I managed to make a draw, but I had very unpleasant position. So bishop g4, another theoretical line. Uh, yes, very good move. Yes, h3 takes, knight d4, queen d1, knight d6. I think another move is to play c6. And if bishop a2 with the idea is to go f4, knight e6. So knight e6, knight e2. Yes, maybe some knight d5 ideas. Knight e2, c6, knight g3, d5, bishop a2. And d takes c, queen takes d1, rook f d8. Yes, bishop c5 maybe would have been better. Bishop e6, bishop e3, bishop f7 takes. But what is up a pawn? Yes, and something very concrete because e4 is hanging, a4 is hanging. And now takes, bishop a7, knight c5, bishop c4, rook d2. Maybe white has some small pressure. And here players agreed in a draw. Yes, no doubts Arthur had very good tournament. Sovereign scored 4.5 points. I would say between average and okay. Yes, we are having another game between Sargisian and Manuel Petrosian. Game ended in a draw. Sargis had 5 points and Manuel had 4 points. We see 4 knights, d4 takes. Yes, here if d takes c, then rook e8 ideas are coming. h3, queen f3, bishop f4. I think Beni Kagasarov played this line against Mamikon Gharibian uh, and won that game. So knight e2, rook a d1. Some slight pressure for white, d4. Takes, bishop b5, queen g3, knight f4. And game slowly ended in a draw. Maybe white had some small pressure, but not much. And we have Robert Hovhannisyan against Mamikon Gharibian. Yes, after Zaven Andreasyan ended his game in a draw against Artur Davtyan, and Sargisyan drew against Manuel Petrosyan. Robert needed only half point, only draw to secure the title. But as we can see, Robert went, played till the end, and managed to win the game. Yes, surprising opening choice by Amigo Gharibian. Usually he plays Sicilian or e5, but here we see a French, and here a6, a3, takes, and bishop c5, queen d2, and g5, f5. Yes, the best is, yes, actually g5. Robert knew this position, and Mamikon as well, because usually you don't play g5 uh, when you are not aware or when you are not familiar. Yes, knight f3, knight c6, f5 by Robert, knight bishop takes, queen d4, queen b6. No doubt Robert knew this, and even h4, h takes g, long castle, long castle. I'm pretty much sure that both the players were aware of this position. Knight takes c5. Yes, and here computer likes more knight d7 or knight c6. And if I'm taking knight d6, I guess rook e8. Yes, rook e8. So this move was played, and of course Robert doesn't have any risk. Yes, he's just and d4, knight d6 maybe would have been better. Takes, rook g7. Yes, maybe knight d6. Takes. Yes, black is having very unpleasant position. Yes, this, king d5, g6, completely winning position. And yes, Robert wins the game. Yes, about the standings very soon. Not much was happening in Hovik Karapetyan Benik Agasarov game. It, I think it's known that Hovik is helping and working with Benik Agasarov, so players didn't really play much, and game ended in a draw. And we do have a very complicated game uh, between Karen Grigoryan and Tigran Arutyunyan. It was a chaotic game. Tigran was better, much better, maybe even winning. So bishop c4, knight g5. Yes, here Zaven chose d3 against Artur Davtyan. Knight g5, d5 takes. I should say that in Tata Steel, this position was tested by Mendonca against Vincent Keimer. So bishop e2, a very, very rare line. Knight h3. We remember knight f3, e4, knight e5. I think knight f3 is one of the attempts. e4, knight e5, bishop d6, d4. Yes, knight h3, g5, d3, bishop g7. So white is up a pawn, but black is having very good compensation. They are ahead in development. So this knight g1, c5, knight e4, yes, knight e5, g4, knight f4, bishop f3, c4, h4, c takes d, h takes g, c3. Yes, we see that huge blunder and black is completely winning. f5, g takes f, bishop f5, or rook b8. Yeah, something d2, queen d2, knight d3, and Tigran goes, and Tigran plays, and something like queen d7 would have been very strong. Queen e7, and this move computer doesn't like. Queen g5, f6, knight f6, rook f6, bishop d5, king f8, knight f4. So, dear viewers, dear friends, like I don't remember uh, anything like this. Threatening rook h8, bishop h8, queen g8, checkmate. Something weird, strange. Takes, knight h1, knight g6, takes. And in this very complicated position where black is two pieces up, rook b6 is the only move, but Tigran didn't find it. And now white is better, just takes, g5, bishop e3, bishop a7. Yes, completely winning position, surprisingly. Yes, it's completely winning. Yes, and Grigorian didn't give any hopes, any chances. So let's see the final standings. We are having Robert Hovhannisyan, winner of Armenian men's championship, clear first, 6.5 points out of 9. We are having Artur Davtyan and Sergei Sargsyan, 5.5 points out of 9. And then we are having 5 players sharing fourth, 8 places. So Zaven Andreasyan, Manuel Petrosyan, Benik Agasarov, Tigran Harutyunyan, and Karen Grigoryan. And we are having Mamikon Garibian, 9th place, 3 points, and Hovik Karapetyan, 10th place, 2 points. Of course, very big congrats to Robert Hovhannisyan, winning another Armenian national championship. I should say that this is the second win in a row and third in total, if I'm not mistaken. Last year also Robert won, and the very first time Robert won Armenian national championship back in 2011, probably. And huge success for young players, Artur Davtyan and Sargisyan. Yes, and especially for Sargis, finishing third. Yes, very big congrats. And let's see, maybe Artur. I think Artur does have all the GM norms. I'm not sure about how many GM norms does he have, but let's hope that Sargis managed to make a GM norm in this tournament. At least I am norm for sure. And we are having Zaven Andreasyan, Manuel Petrosyan, Benik Agasaurov, Tigran Harutyunyan, Karen Grigoryan sharing fourth and eighth places. Yes, of course, mm, nothing impressive, and especially for Zaven and Manuel. I'm sure they were fighting for the first place. Yes, and of course Karen as well. I'm sure Tigran Harutyunyan also, but he had all the chances to win actually, and even maybe if he would win today's game, he might even take third or maybe even third or fourth. But unfortunately, he lost the game. Yes, of course, tournament didn't go well for Ovi Karapetyan from the start. He was getting promising positions, but somehow did not manage to convert them. Yes, once again, very big congrats to the winners, and especially to Robert Ovanesyan for clinching another title. And recently, Robert has been showing amazing performances. Let's wish him all the best, and let's move to uh, women's championship. We see that Mariam Avedisyan drew against Navar Harapetyan. We see that Susanna Gaboyan won against Melina Arutyunyan. Uh, no, I think this is some. Yes. Balina Kobak won against Navar Harapetyan. Gasparian Milena won against Mariam Khachatryan. Anna Khachatryan won against Susanna Rakelian. Susanna Gaboyan won against Lilia Danielian. And Melina Avedisyan drew against Mariam Avedisyan. Of course, we should check how Susanna Gaboyan won this game and won another women's championship. Yes, and here, if I'm not mistaken, 94 is the best. 95, I apologize. 95 d4, bishop b4, d takes c. And this was played even by Magnus Carlsen a few times against Fabiano Caruana in a classical game. Yes, h3, I don't like this move much. Short castle, a3, a5, bishop d3. Yes, d3, bishop e2 would have been, or maybe g3, bishop g2. Yes, this is too much. Bishop e6, 97. Yes, computer maybe likes some move with the, yes, knight h5. Knight h5, very typical move. Yes, this, and white is okay now. And white is maybe slightly better, probably some d4. D4 is not working, b3, yes, b3. She actually played knight g6, d4, bishop a7, bishop e3, and queen d2, knight h5, rook a d1, knight f4, and here knight e2. d5 was played, and bishop h3 was working, c takes d, e takes d. Again, bishop h3 was working, bishop c8, and we see some problems for Susanna, and queen d7, and knight takes g2. Wow. Yes, bishop e3 would have been the best, rook e4, rook takes a7. Yes, you cannot really take king g2 because queen h3 and queen f3 comes. Queen h5, knight h4 would finish the game. Bishop g4, bishop f3. Yes, very good game, and queen g6 comes. Very good game by Susanna Gaboyan against Lilia Danielian. And let's see how did Anna Khachaturian won with the white pieces against Susanna Arakelian. Bishop f4, knight b5. Yes, here short castle is the best move. Yes, even knight e4 is possible. Bishop g5, and what computer is saying, short castle. Yes, bishop e7, takes, knight d5, maybe even knight d6. Yes, white is much better. d6 would have been better. Oh, completely lost position. Yes, completely lost for black. And of course, Anna Khachaturian won without much efforts. Let's move to see. Let's move to see. Yes, we are having Susanna Gaboyan 7 points out of 9, Anna Khachaturian 6.5. We are having 3 players scoring 6 points: Mariam Avetisian, Milena Gasparian, Navar Therapetian, and Palina Kobak 4, Lila Danielian 3, Melina Harutunian, and Susanna Rakelian 2.5, Mariam Khachatrian 1.5. Big congrats to the winners, and especially to Susanna Gaboyan, another title for her. If I'm not mistaken, last year she also won. She also win Armenian Women's Championship. Yes, big congrats to her and to Anna Khachatrian. I'm sure she will be little bit upset because of she was very close uh, for the title, but her game against Mariam Avetisian costed her a lot and very expensive. By losing that game, already Susanna didn't give much chances. And third place, Mariam Avetisian. Yes, she is very actively participating in Armenian women's championships, and I think this is some achievement for her also. I don't remember uh, last uh, her performances in last years, but at least finishing in third place should be considered quite success. Yes, with this, dear friends, dear viewers, I'm finishing my recaps related to Armenian men's and women's championships. Thank you very much for following me, following my YouTube channel, and following Armenian national championships. It's been a pleasure for me to closely follow it. I mm, wish to all the participants and especially to the winners uh, success, and to all the participants as well, success in 2025, and hopefully I can record more material based on their games. Once again, thank you very much, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave your comments. That's all.